friends, Jessica here today on another episode of Avon Calling with Jessica and Georgiana. We have Alice Chisholm today. Thank you so much, Alice, for joining us. And Georgiana, it's always wonderful to see you. Alice, I know you because we actually live in the same state, and we have met up several times throughout the years, which I don't even think that you remember me from years ago, but that's okay because I have learned so much from you, and I'm hoping that you will share a little bit about your Avon story today to inspire other representatives. So I just wanted to start and just ask you, why did you join Avon? What was your goals with starting this business?
Well, the first thing I want to say is I was never asked if I wanted to join Avon, and that is a good clue for any of us that are a little hesitant to ask people to join Avon. I never thought about it before. My aunt sold Avon until she was 80. And so I bought Avon from her for years. And when she turned 80, she retired from selling Avon. Go figure. And I went 3 years without buying any Avon and without seeing an Avon book. And I went through withdrawal. Who knew you could go through withdrawal from not having an Avon book? But you know, I see the Avon book even today, every day, every 2 weeks when I get a new book. There is something childlike in me that just grabs onto it, and I can't wait to page through the book. Kind of like that old Penny's catalog that I spent hours paging through as a kid, looking at absolutely every item in there. Well, I do the same thing with my Avon book. And so I went 3 years without Avon, and I finally told my husband, I don't know anyone that sells Avon. I'm going to sign up just to buy my own lipstick. And that's what I did. And then, of course, as soon as I signed up and told family and my colleagues and a few friends that I was an Avon rep, they started buying from me. And then, only then did I realize, hey, this is profitable. I can make some money with Avon. That's what got me started with Avon.
Oh, awesome story. I love that. That is a key thing that I always say, you know, always ask people, because you don't know who is interested and who's not until you ask. And if you don't ask, and Miss Alice might be passing by and you might miss out on her.
That's right. I have no idea if I would have sold earlier, if the idea would have ever even crossed my mind.
Good point, Miss Alice. So how did you, when you first got started, even though you didn't really have a mindset that was like, okay, I'm in this as a business and I'm going to go out and find, you know, X amount of customers. What did you do to get yourself to find your first customers? What were the first steps that you took?
That's a very good question. So I, at the time, was a middle school teacher. I taught 7th grade health for 32 years. So I was in the mindset of education. It's what my master's degree is in, and it's near and dear to my heart. I loved, as we called them affectionately, our SEVs, our 7th graders. And I was a good teacher, but I knew nothing about network marketing or about business. And I say that because I've been moderately successful with my Avon. I should say successful, but there's still a lot of growth to do. That's why I say moderately. But when I started Avon, I had no clue how to market my Avon business or how to even start it. So my husband and I kind of did a strategy. Now remember, I was working full-time teaching, which is often long hours, and also had 2 boys at home. So I had to do something that I could, on my way to work and on my way home from work, drop off my Avon orders so that I wasn't spending too much time dropping them off, because when I got off work, I had to hit the babysitters, bring my youngest son home, then there's everything to do with being a parent and fixing dinner, and it was busy, and then I'd have papers to grade and so forth. So what we did to begin with, and this was actually a good strategy, and it's time for me to embrace this particular strategy and do it again. But my husband and my youngest son and I went out every other Saturday for 2 weeks. We started in our neighborhood and delivered books to doors. And every 2 weeks we delivered 400 books.
Wow.
And we Googled maps and highlighted where we went. And then the next 2 weeks, we would start where we left off. And it took us 10 months to do a 1.5 mile radius from my home.
Wow.
That's how I started my business. Obviously, I'm in a populated area. You know, we worked through rain and snow and sunshine and wind. And, you know, it wasn't heavy snow. We're in Oregon, but we had all the elements there, but I was determined, and of course it really helped to have my husband and my son out there with me. We just made it a Saturday morning thing. We'd have breakfast and we'd head out, and we'd be gone long enough to hand out those 400 books.
Wow.
And that's how I started it. But the idea there is it was wonderful for me to be able to, like I said, drop my books off and on to and from work and not have to go out of my routine.
I love that. So did you just hung the books on doors? You were walking and just out and about doing that? That's how you did it?
That's exactly what we did. We hung books on doors in the little clear plastic bags that you can buy from Avon. I'm a big believer in when someone walks to their front door, I want them to feel invited by Avon. And that means I don't throw it in their driveway. And I know that a lot of reps have said they're very successful with that. It's just not me. I'm not messy. And I personally would be annoyed if I came home and there's something laying in my driveway. I don't want to bend down and pick it up. So I make sure I don't put that pressure on anyone else too.
That's amazing. So, okay, I just kind of want to keep talking about this for just a second because I'm really intrigued by this, because I think that a lot of representatives, when they first start out, that they want to build their customer base quickly, and that's not always how it works. So even though, you know, your customer base, you were being consistent in hanging books, you know, you would get one customer at a time. And, you know, you did it for what, 10 months, you said, for, you know, your first, 1.5 miles?
Yep.
What was the speed for you? Did you feel like, because you were doing the right actions, that, you were going at a good speed? Did you crave to have like more customers quicker? I would love for you just to talk about that a little bit.
Well, I did want more customers. By the end of my first year, I had over 300 customers. Those were active customers. And so we obviously increase our chances of getting an actual customer if we talk to them personally. And that's more of what I do now. It's the old books that for some reason never got out. If I have a rep that is quitting Avon, and even if they're not on my team, but they're local, often I'm contacted and they'll say, hey, I have 200 books sitting here. Do you want them? I don't care how old they are. I will get those out. And that's now what I pass out without talking to someone, is I pass out old books. I'm not going to recycle them. I'm going to get them into the hands of somebody, whether I or someone else actually purchased those books. Money was spent to buy those, and I'm not going to recycle and throw that money away. I put a label on the front that says, what do I call it? Sample brochure for a current book and a free sample. Contact me. And then, of course, my other information's on there. So I think there's a good portion of those, when we don't talk to someone, that do get recycled without being looked at. But at least they weren't being recycled by me. And so I think you hand out enough of them, you're going to get some response, and that's what it's about. I personally, it was a great way to start my business because I was working full time and I had that Saturday morning to do the handouts. Now, however, that I'm retired from teaching, I make it a part of my week to get books out, and those are current books. And I don't hand them to anyone without asking them for their contact information. It's very easy to do. I will just show the front of an Avon book, and I'll have a sticky note on it, and I say, are you interested in an Avon book? And if they say no, inside, I'm just telling myself, saved a quarter. Okay. I don't take it personally. The first few times I did, it kind of hurt my feelings. Like, how can you not want an Avon book? It's awesome. But the reality is not everybody wants an Avon book, and it could be that they're just really busy and they're not focused on what they might want to buy. It could be that they're just broke and they don't have money to spend. Whatever the reason, if they tell me no, I wish them well and move on to the next person. Go ahead.
No, I was saying exactly. Water off.
Okay. So the other thing then is with I always have a pen in my hand when I am out talking to new people. And like I said, I have the sticky note on the front of the book. And what I do is if they show an interest in the book, I hand them the pen the same time I'm handing them the book. And I say something like, hey, why don't you give me your contact information? If you give me your name and number, I will call you next week and ask you if you have any questions about any of the products in this book. Now, while they're writing their name and number, and believe it or not, 9 out of 10 people will give you their contact information. Now, they may not respond when you call them or text them, but you have their information. Not so long ago, we had a green purse in the Avon bag. It came in blue and navy, or in the Avon book. And I actually had bought one in green. I thought they were awesome. And I called one of my people that I had the contact information on. And I said, oh, hi, this is Alice. I was just checking to see if you had any questions about, anything in the Avon book. Now, let's be real. She knew I was calling to see if she had an order. I knew I was calling to see if she had an order, but it sounded so much nicer to say, did you have any questions about anything in the book? Anyway, she said to me, oh, I don't even know where that book is, but you know what? I saw a green person there that I think I want. Well, I knew exactly what she was talking about. So I described it to her, and I said, it's $39.99. And she said, that's it. I want it. Now, if I wouldn't have had her contact information, and if I wouldn't have followed up on it, I would not have had that order. And that's actually happened numerous times. So get the information, let them know when you're going to call them, and then call them. Now, in addition to getting their contact information, while they're writing that down, I also have a brief conversation on, are you interested in learning more about Avon? Maybe you're interested in earning some extra money by selling Avon. And sometimes there's just automatic flat out, oh no, not interested in that.
Okay.
That's okay, I need customers.
Right.
Sometimes they're like, I don't know, I never thought about it. It's like, well, why don't we talk about it? How is it best for me to contact you? When can I contact you? Or do you have time right now to chat for a few minutes? And then you tell about the newest incentive that Avon has for new reps. The one for $3,500 in 90 days right now is pretty awesome. So
that is so
anyway,
great, Miss Alice.
Yeah, you just carry on that conversation with them, and then you want to find out about them, but that takes time to do. And if they're interested in spending that time with you, you can learn more about them, and you can help them get started on their Avon journey.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah, build the friendship, build the relationship. I think that's super important.
I think so too.
And to just have that consistency. Through your story, I realized that there were some key things that you said that sort of popped out to me. You were going every Saturday. You made it a family affair. So I love that you got your family involved. I love that you were consistent in going out. That was your day to go out. And even though you were working full time, you worked it around the schedule that you had. You knew what your hours were. You knew what time you had available. You maximized the time that you had available and leveraged that towards your business. And then even just following up, when you talk to a person and you get their contact information and you actually do follow up, that's also a level of consistency too that is just so important.
I agree.
So I have one kind of question that's a little bit open-ended. What is one thing that you would say most people don't realize about being an Avon representative?
That you really need to be self-motivated.
Yes.
And even when you're self-motivated, you need to schedule yourself. So for example, every Monday morning, now I'm retired now, so I have a different flexibility with my schedule than I did when I was working full-time. So I'm just going to talk about my schedule now, because I'm not retired, because I'm still doing Avon quite a few hours a week, but I am retired from teaching. And my Avon business gives me the flexibility of being able to start my schedule and end it when I want to. So for example, I don't do a power hour at 5 a.m. in the morning like Jessica does. I'm so impressed with that.
I'm tired.
I am dreaming at 5 a.m. I don't get up that early. I sleep until 7 or 8 every morning. I love it. And I don't even get out of my pajamas until 9.
No.
I have my first cup of coffee, and I get to just start the day using my phone, checking Facebook, checking messages, just all the kinds of things that I want to do to slowly start thinking about what my day is going to be like. Now, I have a calendar and I use it, but I don't go look at my calendar until after 9 o'clock. Okay? That's just how I start my day. That's part of being retired, is that I get to start my day slowly. For many years, I was at work by 7, grading papers for an hour before those kids walked in. Okay, so I just give myself that luxury. And of course, as I get older, I need more hours to put myself together in the morning. I'm not into hurrying anymore. I'm at a slow pace now. All right, so I don't make any calls before 10 o'clock. But by 10 o'clock, I have showered, I'm dressed, I'm out of my pajamas, might be on my 3rd or 4th cup of coffee. We never know. I drink a lot of coffee. But I'm ready to start my day. So, and my day starts at 10, and I look at what I do. And it is true, I do kind of have a power hour. It's just that it's at 10 o'clock. And that's when I make my Avon contacts. But what is most important is every Monday morning, I sit down and I schedule my week.
Yes.
I figure out how many hours am I going to work that week for Avon. And I put it on my calendar. Then the next thing I do, this is the self-motivating part, you've got to figure out what you need to do, when you're going to do it. And it's not just enough to say from noon to 2, I'm going to work Avon.
Right.
Because I can look at that calendar from noon to 2 and not get anything done.
Yeah.
Or I can think, well, I'll just work on my Avon Facebook business page. So you really need to identify which contacts you need to make. Okay, if you're in the leadership program, you need to look at Vibe. I look at Vibe every morning. Now, what do I look like? That's another video. Okay, but I look at Vibe. I contact at least 3, sometimes more. It just depends on the day. I contact at least 3 of my Kickstart reps. Those are reps that are in their first 7 campaigns of selling. I contact some of my team members, at least 3. My goal is 5, but I don't always make 5. But I contact at least 3 of my team members. Now, what do I tell them? That could be a whole other video too. But basically, I've got, you didn't put in an order. What can I do to help you place another order? Remember to order books. You're late on your balance with Avon. Awesome job on sales this campaign. Just, hey, I love having you as an Avon rep. Anything I can do for you, that kind of stuff. Then I also have, what else do I need to do? Boy, there's always things. I do a campaign newsletter for every campaign. I do a newsletter for my team. So I'll work on a short article for that. I will do Facebook posts to just on my personal Facebook, I have an Avon profile Facebook. I have a business page. I have a group page, my team group, that I post to almost daily with just ideas and training things. And then I also have my customer group that I just started a little bit ago, and put something on there every day for them. I remind people when their orders go out. Yes.
So it sounds like you have a variety of contacts that you have to make, and then you schedule them.
I do. So I schedule all of those, and that is going to help my business grow. Then I schedule, who am I going to talk to today, just to see if I can find new customers or new reps. And, you know, for as much as I'd like to do that from home, I need to be out in the community, finding those people. Now, here's what I've found, because I used to set up, you know, an awning and be out there for 4 hours, and it's hard being peppy for 4 hours, you know. I was tired after 30 minutes. So what I've learned is take a handful of books, might be 5, might be 8, and go talk to people till those are gone. It might take me 10 minutes. I might have them gone in 5. If I'm meeting some people that are actually interested, I might be out there a half hour. But any of us can stay motivated for a half hour. So, and I have my places that I most likely prefer to go prospect at. But any of us can do this. It's a matter of setting up ourselves, setting our schedule, and then getting out there and doing it. Because let's be clear, you don't sell Avon by sitting on your couch.
Right.
And watching TV.
Yep.
You sell Avon because you are working your business. And that is one of the biggest messages I can give to any rep, in particular a new rep. Okay. First of all, there's a learning curve with any job, and Avon is no different. You have to learn the product and the procedures. And you can do that by working with the person that signed you up. You can do that by embracing other Avon reps who are so generous in helping each other. And then also Avon University. Take those courses. Avon has designed those for you to learn. But you can't spend all your time learning Avon. You've got to get out there and experience it yourself. So you calendar your hours, you calendar your tasks, and this perhaps is the most important message. Give yourself a 5-year stretch of time before you consider stopping Avon.
Yes, yeah, I love that. That's like why I asked you at the very beginning about, you know, not being able to grow your customer base as quickly as, you know, we all hope that we can, to have that long-term vision. I think that is super important. I think a lot of new representatives don't have that long-term vision. So I'm so glad that you touched on that. We are out of time for today. And I know, but you know what? You touched on some great things. You gave us some good, like, practical things to implement into our business. And I know that we are going to have another video on Georgiana's channel. So everyone who's watching, make sure you go over to Georgiana's channel and watch the rest of this interview, because I know Alice has some just golden nuggets that she is going to continue to share. So that is it for today. Thank you guys all for joining. And yeah, make sure you subscribe to Georgiana's channel. Now, Alice, if people want to connect with you, how can they do so online?
That's a great question. So I believe you're going to put the links on there for me, but you can go to my blog, which is pressonwithallis.com. You can go to my Facebook page, which is Press On with Alice, so facebook.com, Press On with Alice. You can go to my YouTube channel, which is Become Avon. I always forget. I think it's Become, so youtube.com, Become Avon. And, oh, I don't know. Just go to those and check them out, and you can figure out all the other links.
Yeah, we'll make sure to put all the links down below, so
awesome.
No problem.
Okay.
So, well, thank you guys, and we will see you guys soon.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.